Are you planning to take legal action?
Yes, I am. I mean, the video is down now.
So Keke Palmer just left the entire internet stunned after calling out Diddy for turning almost every single male artist in the industry into his boy, toys, and making them do questionable things at his infamous parties. She even dared his supporters to come for her if they wanted to prove her wrong. But what followed was complete silence. Because everyone knows Keke might tell a joke, but she'll never tell a lie. Now, everyone's wondering if Keke just cracked open a can of worms Trey has spent years trying to bury. Because the next detail ties him directly into Diddy's world. See, here's the thing. Everyone else might have moved on from Diddy and the horrific things he's done, but Keke Palmer hasn't. And she made that clear in a recent interview on Club Shay Shay, where she spoke about victims finding the courage to speak up. She looked dead into the camera and dropped the line without even flinching. And when Shannon Sharpe didn't crack a single joke, that's when you knew it was serious. Roll the clip, because this is the exact moment Keke put Diddy's name right back in the fire.
Coming out saying that they seen Trey Songz.
Oh, but she didn't stop at calling Diddy out. Keke made sure everyone knew that Trey Songz turned out the way he did, partly because people like Diddy created the environment for him to become like that. Now, those who know the history between Keke and Trey Songz weren't surprised that she had so much smoke for him, but others were confused, wondering what he'd done that was so bad. Once they started digging, though, they found receipts that finally cracked everything wide open. Before we even get into Trey's history with Keke, let's talk about what really made fans start side-eyeing him, that leaked clip from one of Diddy's infamous parties. You know the one? It started making the rounds around the time of Diddy's arrest last year. When the clip first leaked, people brushed it off as just another wild party moment. But look closer. Trey, Odell, and Justin aren't just sipping drinks. Pay attention to what Justin does right after. That single wipe across his mouth. That's what turned the internet upside down.
The things that I've endured that I ain't spoke out about. No, I haven't put it in the book.
Why?
That clip blew up. Fans online started piecing together theories about what the video really meant. But after everything that came out in the Diddy lawsuits, it wasn't exactly shocking that something like that could happen at one of his parties. Famous industry whistleblower Jaguar Wright later explained that Diddy actually makes a point of setting up young male artists together and recording them for his own pleasure. She even claimed that Justin was a victim in that video, since he was so much younger than everyone else at the party.
Songz sitting on Diddy's lap. I believe you knew Trey Songz or...
And get this, the receipts actually line up because Justin would later open up about that period in his life. According to him, it was a really tough time. He said he was hurting, unhappy, confused, angry, misled, misunderstood, and even angry at God. Sure, some of that could be chalked up to the pressure of fame, but being around Diddy probably didn't help either. And Trey Songz was right in the middle of it the whole time. But that clip? It was only scratching the surface. Because according to Jaguar Wright, it was nothing compared to the other things Diddy allegedly did to young men. We've all heard the disturbing details that surfaced during Diddy's trial and the wave of lawsuits that followed. The manipulation, the blackmail, the shocking stories from behind closed doors. But according to Diddy's former bodyguard, Gene Deal, Diddy wasn't doing all this just to satisfy personal desires. He was doing it as a form of manipulation and control. Gene claimed he'd witnessed many of Diddy's encounters firsthand, and according to him, it's even worse than anyone could imagine. He mentioned names like Justin Bieber, Usher, and even Ja Rule, and that's just a few of the men allegedly caught up in Diddy's circle. What makes it even more disturbing is that none of these artists are openly gay or queer. They were allegedly pressured, groomed, or manipulated into these situations. And when it comes to Trey Songz, things go even deeper. There are claims that recordings exist, tapes allegedly showing Diddy forcing Trey into compromising situations. Diddy's other former bodyguard, known as Big Homie CC, even claimed he personally witnessed it multiple times. And according to him, many of those tapes have supposedly surfaced on the dark web.
So, you know, I've seen some stills of some videos that are for sale.
And the scary part about all this is that when these guys leave their encounters with Diddy, They often go on to become violent or abusive toward the women around them. And that's exactly why Keke Palmer has such deep resentment toward Trey Songz, because what he did to her is something she's never going to forget. This is where Keke's connection to Trey becomes crystal clear, because their feud goes way back, long before this latest scandal ever surfaced. It all started in 2017, when Trey released the music video for his song, Pick Up the Phone. Keke had made it very clear that she didn't want to be in the video. But not only did Trey completely disregard her wishes, he also portrayed her in an aggressively suggestive way after she repeatedly said no. The video, of course, blew up, mainly because Keke was in it. But instead of Trey facing backlash for ignoring her boundaries, Keke was the one who got dragged online. Not Trey, not the director, not the label. Everyone forgot she was the victim, and she got blamed for something she never agreed to. It was too much for her to handle, and eventually, Keke snapped. She went public and put Trey Songz on blast, exposing him for pressuring and trying to control her. In one tweet, she wrote, "This is preposterous. How am I in this video, Trey? After you found me in a closet hiding because I was so afraid of any more conflict. Literally, my last option was to hide because you all would not listen when I said I did not want to be in the video the first time." But she didn't stop there. Keke was heated. She revealed that Trey had tried to manipulate her into agreeing by offering her food, alcohol, and intimidation tactics. She wrote, "Just because you give someone food and alcohol and throw in a little intimidation doesn't mean they'll buckle. You disrespected me as a young woman you've known since I was 12. You defied my wishes and showed a lack of respect for the brand I've spent 14 years building by putting me in that video against my will. Come on, bro. I clearly said no, and you said okay. Yet, I was being secretly filmed when you told me, 'Let me just show you the idea.'" Keke was clearly heartbroken and angry over Trey's behavior, but he didn't seem to care. You'd think he would at least apologize or show some remorse. Instead, he brushed it off like she was overreacting. His response on Twitter showed exactly how little he respected her feelings. He wrote, "Baby girl buggin'. Point blank period. Got my number, could have called. Saw the cameras and lights, heard action. I don't do this Twitter-ish, girl. You know me and got my number. F out of here." Keke didn't back down, though. Whatever Trey's plan was, it failed, because she doubled down on her claims that she never consented to being in his music video. She even posted receipts on her Instagram stories, clearly showing that Trey had crossed the line. When the pressure finally became too much, Trey deleted the music video, but by then, the damage had already been done. Keke had faced overwhelming backlash. The whole situation nearly ruined the reputation she had spent years building, all because she stood up for herself.
Yes, I am. I mean, the video is down now. But I mean, more so, it's out and it's over, but I feel...
However, Trey's disturbing behavior didn't end with Keke. If anything, it got worse. It soon became clear that Keke wasn't the only one with a story to tell. A lawsuit dropped that pulled Trey's name right back into the headlines, this time inside a Miami courtroom. The lawsuit was filed by a woman named Johiara Jeff, who accused Trey of assaulting her at a Miami nightclub on New Year's Day in 2018. According to court documents, Trey and Johiara first met after she attended a New Year's Eve party at Diddy's home on Star Island. She and her friends were leaving the party to head to a club when Trey pulled up and offered them a ride. Trey was allegedly drunk, and according to the lawsuit, Diddy made sure there was plenty of alcohol flowing, more than enough for Trey to get completely wasted. When they arrived at the club, Trey invited Johiara and her friends to join him at his private table. That's when things took a dark turn. While Johiara was dancing on a couch, Trey allegedly violated her with his fingers. Shocked, she froze, until another woman approached to ask what was wrong, only to reveal that Trey had done the exact same thing to her. Eventually, Johiara and her friends decided to leave. They got back into Trey's car, but he was still acting suspiciously. So she began recording him on her phone, just in case he tried anything else. When Trey realized she was recording, he snapped. He tried to knock the phone out of her hand, and when that didn't work, he ordered his driver to stop the car. Then, he forcibly pulled her out of the vehicle, threw water in her face, and allegedly threatened and ridiculed her. After Johiara's lawsuit went public, fans started digging, and what they found was a disturbing pattern. In old party footage, Trey was always right by Diddy's side, and always out of control. Just look at the clips. The body language says it all. Once that lawsuit started making noise, old insider leaks began resurfacing, painting an even darker picture of Trey's climb through the industry. According to one insider, Trey was allegedly giving favors to some of Diddy's executive friends in exchange for career opportunities. The source claimed he was caught in compromising situations with top figures, including a CEO and a chairman at Def Jam Records. "Don't believe me?" the insider added. "Ask L.A. Reid." The same insider went on to say that Trey allegedly slept with the right people in the industry to secure mainstream success, even naming his rumored ex-lover and boyfriend, Brandon Hines. All of this reportedly started as far back as 2011, right when Trey Songz' career was reaching its peak. Around that time, he and Diddy were extremely close. And Diddy, of course, was also tight with L.A. Reid, Clive Davis, and Andre Harrell, all of whom were allegedly involved in those infamous freak-offs. You know, the same ones where young male artists were supposedly passed around and made to perform all sorts of acts in exchange for promises of fame and wealth. But it gets even creepier. Allegedly, many of the men involved didn't walk away unscathed. Some reportedly contracted deadly STDs or other serious health conditions they've had to battle for the rest of their lives. Remember when it was revealed that Craig Mack passed away a few years back? Well, there's another side to that story, the one that isn't said out loud. Some people believe he actually contracted his illness after attending one of Diddy's infamous parties. According to Diddy's former bodyguard, he wasn't surprised by how Craig Mack's life ended, because from what he'd seen firsthand, being around Diddy for too long usually ends in disaster, whether it's being forced into things you don't want to do or having your life and career stripped away from you.
More so, my point isn't to say it's not just specifically about this person, this guy, and what he did. It's the overall.
There have even been whispers about Trey Songz allegedly catching something during his time with Diddy. Maybe it's just a conspiracy, but with all the other receipts lining up so neatly, it's getting harder for him to explain it all away. And here's the part that's really got everyone shook. Keke's not backing down. Every time Trey thinks the noise has died down, she finds a way to bring it right back to the surface. The more she exposes, the harder it gets for Trey to maintain the image he's been selling to the world. Because at this point, people aren't just looking at Diddy anymore. They're starting to question Trey himself. Was he simply a victim of the toxic environment Diddy created? Or did he lean into it, fully aware of what he was doing? Either way, one thing's clear. The internet isn't letting this slide. And if Keke's still got more to unload, Trey might soon be facing the one thing he can't run from: the truth.